To the 52 Weeks to Wealth. This is Wealth Principle 39. Wealth Principle 39 is sell your business before you build or create it. Sell your product before you build or create it. And the reason Wealth Principle 9 exists is because too many people go out, build a great product or what they believe is a great product. They market it to the marketplace only after spending thousands and thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then they realize they built the wrong product. They were just one initiative away or one idea away, or the color was wrong, or the product was actually the wrong style for what the issue in the marketplace was. The solution is you go and sell first. Sell the product first, sell the idea, sell the concept first. And if you think of an example that makes the most sense, it's somebody we love in our community. I would say that Sandra Scroy, an artist, has the ability to go and create amazing sculptures that would take weeks or months to put together. And if she goes with an etch, a sketch, or a drawing, and she lets somebody know this is kind of the concept, this is what it's going to look like, she's not selling the sculpture. She's selling the idea of the sculpture. Is this making sense? We can see how that would be feasible. But you may be thinking, I'm not an artist. I don't sell art, so I can't do the whole draw and send it out. How about another example? When I wrote the book, Broke to a Quarter Million, I pre-sold the book. I put it on Amazon. All I had was a selling cover. I took 6 different options. I put them on Facebook, and I identified the one that my community liked the most, because I'm selling to you, right? I want people like you who are motivated, hungry, desire more. Because if I can sell and find something that you like, I guarantee you there's more of you out there. Hands to the camera if you recognize all you need is a couple of clients to model your clients. Help a few people, find a few people who really are your ideal people. The people who show up, people who have results, and will give you referrals and testimonials. Hands to the camera if you've given me a testimonial in the last 12 months. I know, and thank you so much. It means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. I put a reel together the other day that was 5 minutes of testimonial videos. I sent it off to my VA, and when I watched it, I cried because it moved me emotionally, because I looked and I said, wow, sometimes it's easy to forget, over the months, how many people whose lives you've impacted. And listening to the testimonials inspired me. It got me excited. So thank you. It means a lot. And I really, just so you know, we use it heavily in our marketing. It's on our website. We're putting it out in ads. Testimonials go a long way. When it comes to selling your business first, all you need is an image and a description. That's all we use for Broke to a Quarter Million. It's all we use for Get the Deal. We put it out on Amazon. We put out 3 beta tests, and this happened to be the cover. By the way, they can't read it on Amazon. Does that make sense? They buy based on cover and title. They buy based on the SEO of the book. And if you nail the SEO, then you've got a best-selling book. Because the inside of the book doesn't matter unless you're looking for referrals, unless you're looking for people who've read it afterwards. Hands came if you read Broke to a Quarter Million, thought it was a decent read. Awesome. Thank you. And if you're wearing the 100 Millionaire shirts, then you know we're going to be at the 100 Millionaire Summit in 5 days. Who's going to the summit? Who's already got their tickets booked, got their flights booked, knows exactly how much time they're going to be in Orlando with us? Awesome. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. That's one more item that was pre-sold, right? We didn't do any of the work on the summit other than a description and an idea. Now, obviously, we're extremely capable of pulling off a 3-day. Each one of the coaches has done these big events, but we're doing it together. And so we just had to come up with an idea together, which took us about, we'll say, 2 hours. We just mapped it out really quickly. So what's the intention? The intention is to build a business plan that makes $1 million. So give yourselves a round of applause for showing up, being committed to doing something that most people, when I say it on Facebook, they think, I don't want to make $1 million. I'm not greedy. I just want to make enough to get by. I just want to be comfortable. Why would you ever want to be a millionaire? Millionaires are evil people. They had to rob, cheat, and steal to get there. There's a lot of weird shit that goes on the internet, by the way. I don't know who's putting all this stuff out there, but whenever I talk about being a millionaire, even in the RIAs, there'll be somebody who puts up their hand and says, "Yeah, I don't want to be a millionaire. I want passive income. Can we do that?" $1 million makes passive income a whole lot easier. Hands to camera if you recognize that's true. It's part of the game. Part of the game of success is to build up your net worth and put the money to work for you. It's not buy a Lamborghini. It's not go out and buy the biggest house you can afford. The idea is that you want to buy freedom. The rich buy time. We leverage other people's time in order for other people to go and collect enough money for us to justify paying them and have a little bit on top. There's a saying, a phrase, I'd rather make 1% of 100 people's efforts. Let me get this right. I'd rather make 100%, 1%. Oh, son of a bitch. I would rather make 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. Hands to the camera if you know what that means. It means you're going to put other people out there doing the efforts for you. And it's okay if you make just a little bit off top. We were talking to John Becker earlier about a deal he's looking to do, or he's doing a refinance so he can go look for deals. And the suggestion Terry told him was, well, go find a deal anyway, right? And in the meantime, while you're waiting, just go find a deal. And even if you don't have the money, somebody does. Partner with somebody. It's better to go and get 50% of a deal that you have than 100% of the deal that doesn't exist, or waiting for a potential deal down the road. We make our money from closing on deals. We also make our money, or we have access to capital from letting people know about our deals. We end up with deals by letting people know that we're creating opportunities for people. When you go out and you do a video on Facebook that says, I buy houses, you're looking to sell prior to receiving the ability to buy that house. When you go and lock down a contract, you may not have all the money in place. You may not have the contractors in place. You may not have all the things figured out, but you've now sold the concept that you can close before the ability to close. Hands to the camera if you've ever put something under agreement and didn't quite have it all figured out. We're 100% sure on how you're going to close that deal. Hell yeah. That's good. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's how real estate works. Well done. We're pre-selling. We're going out there and selling our product before we build or create it. Another strategy, another example of this strategy is when you put out our event, like we were talking about earlier, put out this event. We came up with a description, we came up with marketing for it, and we sold. Now, prior to the 100 Millionaire Summit, we sold many, many events, many of which never happened. There were a lot of events that I went and created and then I marketed and nobody signed up. Imagine if I scheduled the hotel. Imagine if I'd gotten the DJ, gotten the sound guys, and sold out, like went out to sell, but I had this behind me, this $10,000 fee that I had to pay. And I wasn't selling the right product. Now, it's not the hotel's fault. It's not the DJ's fault. So I got to pay these people. Hands camera, if that makes sense. Excellent. So with the 100 Millionaire Summit, we decided how big we could go based on how many tickets we sold. We decided how big we could go based on how many people were going. That was what decided that was the decision maker on what we were going to do in the event. Because we got over 100 people who registered, paid, and are scheduled, we were able to ratchet up just a little bit more about what's going to be there. Hands to the camera if that makes you excited, if it's cool that more people are interested in what you're looking to do. Absolutely. It's one of the greatest secrets out there. Don't build it first. Absolutely design it in your mind. Absolutely put it on a piece of paper for sure. But have your proposal before you go and sell your business. Before you go and build the product. Like Jen's Pens, another great example in our community. We went and sold the concept before we even put any systems in place. We said, well, let's go see if there's somebody who actually wants a book written for them. I'm a lazy person. I'm ambitious, right? I want to get a lot done without me putting the effort in. That's what massive income from passive income is all about. That's what organize and collect is what is all about. And the point is not to work, it's to generate income. The three of us all came up with these phrases that really imply that we would like to have other people doing the effort. So when me and Jen went out, she was like, okay, like, should I put all this together? And I said, no, let's go see what they want first. Let's poll the marketplace. Let's see what their desire would be. We can pitch ideas and then go and sell whatever they told us they wanted. This is the secret to the best salespeople. Adjust your product on the fly, be willing to overpromise and then over deliver. In the beginning, you may say, I can do things. And if something occurs that you can't do, cool, give them your money back, right? No big deal. But what if you can do it? What if you do find a way to over deliver on a promise that you've made? And I have consistently over and over done that in the training company, done that in my real estate business, done that in my sales business. Over and over, I've made promises that I thought were exceptional. And then once I got dug into the details, I found a way to make them even better. That's a little bit of perfectionism, but it's also a commitment to being superior, a commitment to being your very best. Hands to the camera, if you know there's something in your business that you could offer that you haven't quite looked into, but maybe if you did, it would be some extra value point that would separate you from everybody else. Absolutely. Absolutely. 52 weeks of wealth right here. I don't know another coach who shows up and does this. I don't know another mentor who's out there who's built a program as large as ours. They like the 6-week programs. They like the 8-week programs. They like to bring people through and charge through the nose to deliver stuff like this. Hands to the camera if you get a lot every single week. If you're gaining something, gaining some momentum. I love it. Thank you. Your feedback, by the way, is what helps me improve this. I used to run for a full hour on one of these lessons until the community said, look, well, I saw the community jumping off at 10:45, 10:55, or jumping off at 11:15. And so I went and I hired a coach. I spent $32,000 to learn how to get an entire lesson into less than 30 minutes. I said, 25 minutes. Can you teach me how to do that? And he said, yes. I will be having this coach speak at the summit. He's my secret hidden coach. He's a secret speaker that nobody knows about. And he's also the person who changed my life back in 2015. I was in the room in the Secrets to the Millionaire Mind, 100 Millionaires, not 100 Millionaires, Secrets to the Millionaire Mind Intensive. And he was the one speaking on stage and got me to believe in myself, got me to believe it's possible to not just double my income, but triple my income that year. I set the target. I was making 17 grand and I set the target to make 100 grand and I hit it because I went through that 3-day process. This is why I do live events. I believe in them. They changed my life. I've been to dozens of live events all across the country. I fly to go to events. I'd rather fly than go to Boston. Like I'd rather go somewhere else where nobody's going to be there distracting me. That's why I moved to Vegas for 3 months. I hit every single event that flew into Vegas. Tactical approach. I knew all the event planners were going to Vegas. So I went and I sold myself before I had the ability to do what I was telling them I was going to do. Sell your product first. You are your product, by the way. Sometimes you've heard the phrase, I got to fake it to make it. Get out faking it. Look, you're just putting out there what you plan on being in the future. You're just letting them know in advance. Look, I may not be all there yet, but I am selling it prior to being there. By the time we get to, rubber hits the ground, shit, I'll be there. I'll be there way better than I told you I was going to be there, right? Because I overpromise and I over-deliver. So tactical approach. What can we do in our business right now to implement this principle? I want you to put your name and date at the top of a piece of paper. If you are driving, Julie Bradley, please keep driving. Aline, keep her eyes on the road. Make sure that everybody is safe. But if you do have a pen and paper, I want you to write at the top of it the first thing that comes to your mind about your product. What is the reason a person consumes your product? What is the reason a person comes to you and says, I want this? Write down the reason. And if the reason is emotional, you're probably right. If the reason is just something tactical, like it solves one of their needs, you're probably close. But people don't solve what they need. They solve what they want. And wants are emotional. The only thing you need on this planet is food, shelter, and a place to go to the bathroom. And I've seen people take that to an extreme. They really don't need much. I posted a picture yesterday of a gentleman playing virtual reality when he didn't have a house, right? He was living in a tent on the street. So what people want is typically what they'll move towards. And what they need is, unfortunately, not always their greatest desire. So Make sure you're right at the top. Hands to the camera if everybody's gotten something written down. Excellent. Okay. So next, underneath that, what would that look like? What would that look like if you were to describe it in an image? If you were to describe it on a graphic, a piece of paper. And by the way, this happens on Amazon all the time. People will go and take an image, they'll take a picture or a video, and then they'll put it on Amazon and not have the product. It's called drop shipping. So I want you to get an idea what that product would look like. You can either draw it out stick figure style or write it out what this would look like or how to get that picture of your product, of something that you are thinking of selling, an extra service you're looking to add to your already existing services, or a new product. Some of you may be going into new directions, new goals, but get that image written down. And then the second step is, where would you put it? Where is your market sitting? Where are your people sitting? Where could you put it where you could get a commitment? In a CTA, well, we'll go to the CTA right after this. But where could you put it where you could get a commitment? Could you text it to people? Could you message it to people? Could you send it via email, get it on Facebook? And be careful with just marketing. In this situation, you really want to sell. You want to contact somebody, get their verbal opinion. Anytime I'm marketing a product, you'll get a contact from me. I won't just put it out on Facebook. That's a nice little test because I have a big enough following. But if you don't have that following, then you've really got to get out there and have a conversation with somebody. And I still do it. I will still, in one of these live Zoom calls, go and say, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. What do you guys think? And I'll poll the room. Has anybody ever noticed that I say hands to the camera a lot? I'm gathering information. The most valuable thing that you can do in your business is listen to your clients. Listen, and for us as coaches, listen to your students. Or as real estate agents, listen to your investors, right? Or Julie Bradley does our bookkeeping for us. Listen to your business owners. And make sure that you're also selling their future, pre-selling their future. Before they're an investor, when I was an agent, I used to tell everybody, yes, this is my investor. In our community here, our 100 millionaires, I let everybody know you're a millionaire. Money's just on its way. It's coming in. It's coming to you. The net worth is coming. Future millionaires, right? But I don't even like saying future millionaires because it future paces things. I'd rather let you know that you got the mindset of a millionaire. Mindset of a millionaire is somebody who goes after it no matter what because they know it's theirs. That's it. Exactly. You know it's yours, then it will be yours. When you're thankful, grateful, have the faith and belief that it's coming to you, then all you have to do is show up and take the actions. The mind, all that other stuff is up here in the mind. And that's what we're selling when we pre-sell our products. We're going out there and we're selling to the mind. The only step left is the action to go and receive it. The action to go and create the product once we have somebody who's interested. Interest is what I'm looking for. Interest is what I'm selling. And the key to building a great business is identify what your client wants. Find out what they're most interested in. Find out what their burning desires are. Find out what their passions are. Don't be afraid to ask. Because if you're afraid to ask, then you'll be afraid of the results, which are money. It's money flowing in. So sell first. And here's the other benefit to selling first is you get money to go and start your startup with. Just don't spend the money until you've hit your critical mass, because anywhere in the middle, you may have to give the money back. And you never want to put yourself into that position where you don't have it to give back. So you do a capital raise is how I like to call it, because since we're in real estate, we're always doing capital raises. We're going out and we're locking it down under agreement, right? And then I go and I introduce it to an investor. All I'm introducing to the investor is a picture, a description of the property, and then I let them know what I'm looking to do. I have not done it. I do not own the property. I have not done any work on the property. All I'm doing is selling the dream of what I'm going to accomplish. And then when I can get enough people to buy into that dream, then I close on the property. Sometimes if you don't hustle hard enough in the beginning, building your relationships, you may have to get an extension. Has anybody ever extended a closing, had to push it out because they didn't have the money lined up? Absolutely. Hey, part of the game. We pre-sold those guys. We're pre-selling the next guys, but we're doing it. We will close. We will commit. We will get it done, because the action is what connects what you see up here to reality. The whole manifesting thing, I want to be very clear. You can only manifest if you're willing to take the action. Everything you want, like I told Kevin Pereira this morning, everything you want is coming to you. It's attracted to you. You receive through action. You receive through servitude, through going out and doing something that brings that money to you. But the money is flowing. It's, if you can think it, if you can visualize it, if you want it bad enough, then the money is on its way to you. You just got to go have a couple conversations to line it up, and then do whatever you've promised to collect it. Hands to the camera if you understand what this principle really means. It's more than just a marketing strategy. It's more than just a way to build a business. This is a concept in life, right? Andrew's got his baby and his beautiful wife right there. So think about it, Andrew, right? You sold Amy on the concept of living with you the rest of your life. That's a damn impressive concept. He doesn't know what he's going to look like 10 years from now. He doesn't know how talented he'll be 10 years from now. Like, she had to go on faith that this gentleman had the ability to last for 50 or 60 or 70 years. Hands to the camera if you recognize this. Guys, you've been pre-selling your whole life. Let's apply a principle that's worked for you in the past into your business. Apply it in a way that means something. So the fourth step is a CTA, a call to action. Putting out your concept is great, but then asking, would you buy this? Are you interested in this? Who would love to see me create an offer at the 100 Millionaire Summit that is something you can't refuse and something that is so valuable with a guaranteed ROI behind it? There's no trainer I know who will say the word guarantee in the same sentence as their product. So it's a very, very interesting, compelling offer that I'll be presenting. And I will explain the entire time that I'm offering it to you that I'm offering something. Hands to the camera if you know that's how I sell. Whenever I create a product, I'm literally just testing it out and seeing, is this what you want? Okay, I'll go build it. That's my promise. If I say I'll build it, it'll be better than I said I would build or create. That's the commitment. Hands to the camera if you're committed to being that intense with your offers, with over-delivering, with creating the perfect product, even if sometimes these things will cost money. Absolutely, they will. My coach cost me $32,000. But we're getting more in less time now. You're getting more educated in less time, and it's more compelling and more memorable because I'm telling stories to hook the mind. I've got him speaking so you can do that in your business. Hands to the camera if you know it's going to be valuable. If you learned how to tell stories so you can hook the mind. Yes. So he'll be on stage for about 30, 45 minutes. He's a very busy man, and he's very retired. When I say very retired, a multimillionaire, still has multiple businesses running out there for him passively. But he lives in Naples and he doesn't really like to do anything other than high-level coaching. That's like his one thing that he's still willing to go and actively do. Who knows that they want to get so successful in their business that they can do that? Answer the camera if that's a goal. I know. You're like me, the 100 millionaires, right? 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. And I'm going to talk about what that means, how you can monetize helping other people at the 100 Millionaire Summit. We're going to go deep into how you monetize the process of being a good, decent human being, so that the things you're selling, other people are not just buying, but they're thankful that you exist, thankful that you're out there doing what you're doing. Mike Shine, we've got an amazing book of the week. Let's give Mr. Michael Shine, our holistic attorney, the closer, who, by the way, closed another deal for us this week. Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause. We appreciate you. The keeper of the books.
And as a favor to me, because I have to leave early, Terry's actually going to do this review today. Terry Wager, Dr. Terry, crushing it. Thank you, Terry.
So we're talking about building a story brand, and Donald Miller wrote an awesome book about the idea of every business is helping the client be the hero. And the idea with this is Donald Miller was in movies for all of his life and the entertainment industry and around the entertainment industry with his friends. And he realized that everything that happens in the movies is a hook, story, offer kind of idea. And what they're wanting to do is replicate what happens in the movies in attracting people. And so it's all about the attractive character. And Donald Miller says there's 7 things that you got to think about. And I've got them written down. So I might look like I'm reading. It's because I am. And so number 1 is the customer is the hero. Your brand is not. 2, companies tend to sell solutions to external problems, but the customer buys a solution to their internal problem. And so what he basically says is we end up selling to a problem that they don't care about. And so we have to understand what they care about and sell to that. That's why when Walter's talking about, I talk to my people and ask them what they want. That's what Walter's doing. Customers aren't looking, this is 3, customers aren't looking for another hero. They're looking for a guide. And so we as business owners are guides, not heroes. 4, customers trust a guide who has a plan. And so the idea that Walter's talking about, when you create an idea and sell the idea is a plan. 5, customers do not take action unless they are challenged to take action. That's why we have CTAs, calls to action. Hit the button, call us now, step forward. 6, every human being is trying to avoid a tragic ending. Why would we not? I don't think I need to say much about that one. 7, never assume, and this is important, never assume people understand how your brand can change their lives. You have to show them. You have to show them through the story. And so that's one of the biggest reasons that Walter and I tell stories, is because if we're actually just telling you what it will do, we create resistance in that, because it's almost like okay, prove it. And so when we tell a story about a client who's been with us, or something that happened to us and what we've been through, we put you in the story and move you through. And so the story is all about creating a connection where the buyer, so to speak, or the client can step into the story and walk alongside the guide.
Thank you, Dr. Terry Wager.
You're welcome.
Let's give Terry a round of applause. And Mike Shine for being smart and forecasting and saying, you know what, Walter may go over. Let me make sure somebody else is supporting me. Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause as well. Good teamwork. I love it. And just so you're clear, in our situation, hands to the camera if you're looking to buy more property. If you're a real estate investor looking to own more property, on the camera, hands up, put them up there. All right. So just so you know, when we say buyer, we mean seller. Right? That's like the one little thing when you read a lot of these business books. When they refer to the buyer, it's actually the seller. It's the seller's journey. You want the seller to be the hero. You're just the guide. And you really are. After you sell, and I just put together a spreadsheet, a PowerPoint for the buyer's journey, the client's journey. And at the summit, I'm going to go over it. There's actually 2 extra steps from what I've seen all over the internet that I didn't find, that I was very disappointed that most salespeople are not going to that. But the last 2, I'll talk about the summit, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm getting at here, is that the seller's journey does not end. You will always be their guide if you're intelligent about the way you build that relationship. See, a seller also has cash at the end of the deal in most cases, if you did it right, if they had equity. So now they could become your lender. They could be the partner. And in a lot of cases, you don't have to separate the deal. They could be a partial lender on the deal that you're looking to close. Like we were talking with John earlier. If you have a property that's good enough deal and maybe they've got some equity, you don't have to go raise the capital. The capital could be sitting right there in the building, already parked. And just now you have to have a new relationship, one new contract with that person, and you give them a second mortgage, a second position. And now they're still getting a little bit of cash flow from the property that they're selling to you. And you don't have to go to the bank to raise all that extra, to take all your money, that 25% down. Hands to the camera if you recognize this. So when we're talking about the buyer's journey, the client's journey, in most of your situations, it is the seller's journey. And sometimes It could be your wholesalers. It could be your agents. It could be the people who are bringing you deals. It could be your employees. You're always selling something. Go ahead, Terry.
The way I kind of put that is, yes, exactly the seller's journey. But I always say that if I'm the buyer of the property, I'm attempting to get them to sell. What I'm selling as the buyer of the property is why they should sell it to me. And so I'm still the buyer, and the buyer's journey, and they're still buying I'm still the seller. They're the buyer of my story. And so I have to have a story that's compelling. I have to have a story that's drawing in. I have to be the attractive character so they look at me instead of just the numbers.
100%. Hands to the camera if you know you've got a charismatic character, an attractive character. Hell yeah. All right. Hands to the camera if you think you got to do a little bit of work on that character. We're going to bring that character to life. Hell yeah. I love it. I love that it's the same hands. I am always adjusting my character. And I think that that's the most fun part of life. I told Andrew this week, we had a little conversation, jumped on the phone, and Andrew's looking to build this personal brand. If you haven't checked it out, Andrew, can you drop your YouTube link in the chat? I know you guys are driving, so be careful. But his brand, he said, I'm looking to build more followers. Hands to the camera if you know more followers means more paychecks. Yes. Oh, okay, excellent. I'm just making sure that we know attention is good. The more people know you, the more they can send you referrals of houses or lend to you. So attention is good. Followers are good. And I told him, I was like, Andrew, maybe the message that you have inside here is not what's coming out. Has anybody ever thought they were saying something and somebody else received it completely different? Maybe a spouse. Yeah. I thought I told you that. That's what I said. No, you didn't say that. You said this. Okay, well, it's the same way with your content, with your marketing, with your branding. I was in Boca last week, yesterday, 2 days ago, and I was selling, but I went in with 3 products. Who's heard me say a confused mind says no? So I went in with 3 products in my head. So what I spit out was confusion. And so at the end, I got what I deserved. I got a bunch of confused faces. And so when you're putting your product together, your brand, are you sending the right message? Oh, I work with buyers. I also work with sellers. I'll buy a condo and a 3-family and a single family. I'll buy land. Sure, I'll buy everything. It's very confusing. It's hard for a person to connect with. One of the pieces that I've pushed so hard over the last 5 or 6 years of training people is that you've got to make sure that you're very clear about where you do it and what you do. In all of Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, whenever I speak, I am the Fall River guy. When I'm anywhere in the country, I'm the Fall River guy. I live in Tampa. I'm still the Fall River guy. Does that make sense? I don't care how far I go. I sell one product. I sell one market. In Florida, I'm like, hey, you want to invest in multifamily? Screw Florida. You need to invest in Fall River. That's where I invest, right? I'm still buying in Fall River. I'm still buying New Bedford. Look, Mitch Jorsky is buying in the place that shall not be named in Massachusetts. Are we cool with saying Gardner? Are we talk about it now?
Say all the towns. Leominster, Gardner, Athol. Yeah, and I also live in Florida and I'm buying in Massachusetts. We're going to question my sanity, but anyway.
It's funny because I watched a video the other day. I want to open up to the questions, but I watched a video by the millionaire from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful. And he said, there are 3 states I will never, ever build a business in: Massachusetts, New York, and California. And yet we are successfully building a very strong real estate business right there in Massachusetts, because it's not about necessarily the laws of the state. You build your own economy. No matter where you are, no matter what you're selling, you decide how successful your business is going to be. Hands to camera if you commit to your success, no matter what the market brings. And it's going to bring some turbulence. It's bringing some stuff. And I'll be talking a lot. I'll be talking into a lot of detail, probably too much detail at the 100 Millionaire Summit. My last talk is my prediction for the real estate market. And when I say prediction, I mean, this is exactly what I believe is going to happen if all things continue the way they are and a black swan event occurs. It will happen just a little bit sooner. And again, if you know, that's a talk to be at. It could plan out your next, by the way, it's not just 1 year prediction. This is a 10-year prediction. This is what I see for the next 10 years, assuming that everything goes pretty much the way it looks like it's going to go, or it goes the way it has for the last 100 years. Hands to the camera if that's the sort of data you would like to have in your life. Awesome. Awesome. Well, then I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at the 100 Millionaires Summit. And I want to open it up to coaches. But hold on, coaches. Hold on. Let me get the recording going. Has anybody seen the coaches review that I put out a week and a half ago, where all the coaches jumped in and they gave their feedback? It was fantastic. So since I know that my virtual assistant Jem is watching these videos while she's chopping them up, can we all please give Jem a round of applause for the amazing job she does when she's editing these? Awesome. Thank you. And also for my VA who goes and puts all the transcriptions today, Sam, I want to give him a round of applause because it's huge what you do for us. Without you, my blog would not exist and my YouTube channel would have no SEO and my website would have nothing. So thank you for your work and your support in building 100 Millionaires. At this point, I'd like to open it up to my amazing coaches who, without them, I would not be able to build 100 Millionaires because they're in the grind. They're in the trenches with you, ladies and gentlemen, every single day. Let's give it up for our amazing coaches before I bring them on. Michael Shine, since you're still on the call, you're up.
Yes. So this one's kind of personal to me because Walter got me to start doing a partnership course before I even knew I was doing a partnership course. And so I'll be speaking at the Millionaire Summit. This will be my first speaking engagement. And so we're creating something as we go along. And Jen's pen's also helping me write a book before I even created a book. So it's all awesome to me. So yeah, this is an awesome way to do it.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. Not just talking about it, we're doing it, right? We live this stuff. I'll always build businesses. I'll always hang out with my friends. I'll always make more money because I enjoy it. This is the game of life. This is playing the game full out, seeing what you're capable of. I know for sure I could watch so many Seinfeld episodes if I just dedicated my life to that. And I'd watch all the TV. I could probably get through all of Netflix if I said, I'm going to do this, right? I'm that kind of dedicated. But I also know that I have way more fun seeing what's possible in the real world. I love video games. I used to spend hours trying to beat the dragons or get through and see if there's an extra thing, an extra point that I could get just by going over that level one more time. I get all the cheat sheets. Whoever used the cheat sheets, like the different gaming guides. Yeah, the Game Genie was my first one back when I had Nintendo. I put the golden Game Genie on top of the game, put it in the player. And I loved the idea of getting more out of the game. So imagine when I realized I was sitting there playing Skyrim one day and I realized, my God, all I'm doing is hunting for stuff, building armor with it, and then killing bigger stuff because now I have better armor and a better sword. And I realized life is exactly that. All it is go and find out what somebody wants, go and gather it, put it together, assemble it for them, and then go take out the demon that they're trying to face or the dragon they're trying to face. If you build businesses, you get to be the guide. You get to be the person who's helping other people solve their problems, taking them along the path, along their journey through life. And if you play the game of life really well, you get to do all the cool stuff. When I started, I was a very ego-driven man. So I wanted all the women. I wanted all the attention. I wanted people to look up to me and think that I was really important. And it wasn't until I said, you know what, that's not as important as having one amazing woman, an amazing community, and feeling great about yourself every single day because you're knowing you're pushing yourself to the next level. Hands to the camera if you know that's the sort of business you want to build. Something that makes you feel amazing and also gives you some really deep, profound feelings in life. Excellent. That's why we all hang out together, right? Dr. Terry Wager, you're up next.
Yeah. Many people, when we start talking about build it before you sell it, many people feel like they're a fraud. Many people feel like they just can't do that. They don't have anything to sell. And one of the problems is they're thinking about what they're doing right there instead of the idea that they have all of that greatness in them. Like Les Brown says, you got greatness in you. And the reality is we all have whatever we're going to be delivering. But what we want to do is we want to save our time, guard our time, and put the ideas together and see if the idea sells. Now, for Gwalter and I, we sell programs and we sell training and we help people move forward. When I go into a business and talk to them, I start by asking them what they want, what they're looking for, where their gaps are. And then when I talk to them about how I can help them, I attempt to fill their gaps. That's exactly what Gwalter's talking about in this process. Now, what about the realtor? Let's think about the realtor for a minute. Because, well, they got to sell houses. And some of the realtors that I've known say, well, I feel like a fraud because I don't have, a package to sell them. Well, the fact of the matter is the way you work with people, how you'll communicate with them, what you're going to do for them is all what the package is all about. It's not going and finding a list of houses that they may want before you ever meet them. You have to actually think about what you're doing, what you're bringing, what value you're bringing to them before you ever start working with them. When you get that, the fraud goes away and you start realizing that, oh, okay, I'm here to have a conversation and see how I can help them. The sheet that we give them, the one sheet for Gwalter and I, when we're suggesting a program is, this is how I can help you. That's all it is. And so it's really just before you actually go and make some program, find out how you can help them. That's what we're talking about.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. Find out how you can help them. And Ron just reminded me of an awesome experience. The first time I did this with our community was 2 years ago. We were at East Main Street in Fall River, and we had an opportunity to go and build something. We knew we wanted to sell our first course. Hands to the camera if you've been doing something for free for a very long time and you'd love to get paid for it. Gentlemen, I'm not talking about sex. No, that you still do that for free. That's because you love your spouse and she loves you back. Then you've been good. So I'm talking about like something that you can do for other people outside of the house, because house money is already yours, right? You don't need more house money. You got to get outside and sell it to somebody else. And I'm, again, not talking about sex. I'm talking about going out and a product, a service, but not that service, gentlemen. Because I remember gentlemen, by the way, and the reason, ladies, that I say this is every single guy in the world has thought that. Hands to the camera if that's true, gentlemen. You've thought, I wouldn't mind getting paid for this. Yeah. All right.
Why are you assuming it's only guys? Who are the primary prostitutes?
Yeah,
Men,
that's
women?
because you guys are more desirable. We'll just put it that way.
I know. I'd like to eliminate the pimps. Let's just go women here. But all right. Going back on track. Sorry.
We'll put it out there. We'll put it out for everybody. Here was the time that Ron and I sold something that to us seemed unbelievable to sell. We were selling an idea. We were selling information. Now, I had paid thousands of dollars already for information, but I had imposter syndrome. I didn't believe that I was worthy of selling something to other people that was information from me. Hands to the camera if you've ever felt that way about something in your business. Maybe you weren't the one who could sell it, but somebody else could. Here we are in East Main Street. And it was a bigger event than this one. There was a lot more people in the room. I want to say we had about 20 people in the room. And at that event, I had a flip chart. And I don't have a picture of the flip chart, but on it, I said, what do you guys want most? What do you want in real estate? Most in real estate. I know Mike Shine was there. Andrew was there. And I started writing down on the flip chart everything they wanted. I want to know how to buy houses with no money down. I want to know how to find deals faster. I want to know how to negotiate deals. I want to know how to write the contract. I want to know how to raise capital, private capital if I had to. There was even one, I want to know how to hypnotize my spouse to get on board with me because my spouse won't let me buy property right now. I just wrote everything down. I just kept writing what they wanted, even the jokes. Do you know what the biggest pull for that event was? I'm going to show you how to hypnotize your spouse. And that was what interested people the most, was the one off comment joke. Everybody seemed to get the biggest reaction on that. Hands to the camera if you think you know what your client wants, but it might not be exactly what they'll buy. Yes. It's interesting. They'll buy the thing that seems the most outlandish sometimes. So you've got to make sure that you really dig deep and don't just take surface what they say at first. Take the truth, like go deep enough to find the truth. This is making sense. This is fun. We're getting this. Yeah, making money is fun. It's a game. This is a game. It is something to be enjoyed. Will there be difficult times? Hell yes. I guarantee you, I promise. That's what makes it more fun once you get past those accomplishments. Every level has another devil. Speaking of a devil, Mitch Jorsky, you're up.
Wow. Okay. Somehow I'm gonna turn that into a compliment.
Handsome devil.
Actually, you know what? You were right. You knew what was going on in my head, and I was like, the only rap quote I have for this principle is way too derogatory. So instead, what I'm going to say is, when it comes to this wealth principle, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So we went Spice Girls instead. But it's true, and you and Terry both mentioned it in terms of, what people want. And it's something you really need to pay mind to. I'll admit I struggle with it in terms of, you get a passion about something and you just want to give that to people. And it's like, well, does anyone want this? I will say, though, by listening to what people want or listening to what they feel, you essentially, or you can organically have things, ideas and products and businesses, create, in your head from that feedback. And a simple example I can give is, we all know my brand, Scaredy Cat Guide. It's like, where do you come up with Scaredy Cat Guide, right? And I told the story actually, was it when I saw you guys at the radio on Thursday, where Walter was speaking in Boca. We had a little powwow, a little reunion. I saw a lot of investors I know down here in Florida, and the whole Scaredy Cat thing came up with every time I was out talking to someone about real estate, like someone total person that doesn't own any real estate, wants to buy their first home. The word that I heard over and over and over again was scared. Like, oh, I want to buy a house, but I'm scared I'm going to do something dumb, or I'm scared I'm going to, make a bad purchase, or buy a money pit, or whatever it is, overpay. And I'm just like, okay, I see a theme here. So between that and then embracing who I am, which is someone that has more of a risk adverse investing approach, I took those two and I married them. And that's how I came up with Scaredy Cat. And then I put guide because, well, you can just put that in front of anything, kind of like a for dummies type thing. So that's how I stumbled into it. But it stemmed from listening to people and hearing a theme. And over and over and over again, I kept hearing, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. I'm like, well, that's perfect, because I'm good at, taking a investment process that seems scary and making it simplified and, taking the fear out of it. So I was like, here we go. We have it. It came together. And it was simply just by listening to people say what they wanted, by them sharing an emotion. They wanted the fear to be taken out. So that's how I stumbled into the brand. Whether it's a great name or not, I don't know still, but either way, that's how I got there. And I'm sticking to it. So just listen to your audience and they will tell you what you want, whether it's through desire or through, fear, so just listen to that emotion, because we more focus on what people want as a product, but it's not just that. You can also, hear what the emotion is and go with that. And the reality is, do we generally buy with our logical brain or do we buy with emotion? Right. So, just keep that in mind, the emotion side too, and what the feedback you're getting from people based on, an emotion.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. That's the truth. We buy with the emotional brain and fear sells. So as much as I hate it because I want to put out a great message into the world, my marketing that I spend the most dollars behind is, are you broke? Do you hate not making money, not having enough to pay the bills, not being able to get by? It kills me knowing that that's what I'm spending money to put out into the world, but I do it because I know on the other side, I'm going to shift their mindset. I'm going to shift them around and get them into an empowered state. But first, I've got to meet them where they're at. Does that make sense? You may have to meet them where they're at in their business before you can transform them and bring them across. So go back to the pain. For me, I go back to 2015 when I was completely broke and going through the divorce, that pain that I was in, I would just put myself there. And when I create content that draws people in, I feel it. I remember the emotions. I remember the thoughts. I remember how I felt desperate and abandoned, and like nothing was going to be okay. And when I create the content from that energy, from that space, it draws people in. So you may have already solved this problem in your life, and you now have to go back to that point. Remember before the problem was solved, what it looked like. Does that make sense? And if you don't have a business, like that's what David put in the chat, doesn't have a business, doesn't own real estate yet, you are in the right place. Go back to Wealth Principle 1 and Wealth Principle 2 and watch them on YouTube or on my website, and take in the knowledge of how to choose the right business, how to get that side hustle, how to start investing. And feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. The only one I don't really pay attention to is LinkedIn, but if you message me there, I'll get to you in a week or two. But all the other ones, I'm on a 24-hour, will pay attention. So ask questions. I want to help. I'm willing to do the time of getting you started in the beginning so that you can hang out in this call and be having a business. Hands to the camera if you have a business that is running right now. Excellent. Excellent. And if you don't know, Frank Montero has a very cool business that he's starting. It's something I'm going to reveal, just a teaser. Is it okay if I tease you just a little bit with something? Awesome. All right. And this is cool because we're the beta test. Ironically, me and the other coaches are the beta test. You see this card? You see that beautiful face in this card? That's me, right? I got the money behind me. This card, when you tap it on someone's phone, pulls up a My Links page, which shows all of my links to all of my social media, my landing pages, and my cell phone in there if I want it to be, my email address. So whatever you decide you want on this card, now it's in somebody's phone. Who knows that this is the greatest tool for networking? Who knows that the greatest networking event is coming up in 5 days? So I got 2 of these so I can pass them around the room for people who are interested in my contact information. Darina's got one. And coaches, guess what? You get a card. You get a card. You get a card. So we'll be making sure that we are connected. If you didn't have our contact information before, you'll definitely have it now. Everybody who's at the summit, we're committing to you. You're the 100. You're the people that we're going to say, yep, we're going forward in this big, meaningful way. You'll be signing a contract with yourself, a physical contract that I wrote personally. I'm not a legal attorney, but I'm pretty sure it's binding because you're writing it and signing it with yourself. But it says that you will become a millionaire in the next 3 to 5 years. Now, if you're afraid of signing that contract, I strongly suggest you do not show up at the summit, because every single one of us is going to hold you accountable to it. Hands to the camera if that's one more reason to show up. Hell yeah. It's going to be fantastic. Darina, who is the queen of events. She's literally the queen, princess, and lord of this event. All I do is show up and plan out what I'm going to say. But she's making sure that we have a beautiful, amazing stage and a room full of people to speak at. So Darina, if you could share your concept behind this principle, what's your biggest share?
Thank you. Yes, it comes from personal experience as well. I believe it's so true. You got to sell your product before you create it, but also you want to know who are you talking to and what room are you in. Example, when 2 weeks ago I went to 10X Ladies, you and I had brainstorming session, like how do I present myself? What do I say in a few words, what my business is all about? And even though my business is real estate, it's generating leads, it's still a baby. The plan is to grow to $10 million, but right now it's still a baby. We're still doing the processes. We're still building systems and automations around it. So I was doing some testing. First day I was telling, okay, I do real estate. Oh, okay. Then I have lead generation business. Oh, cool. Or I offer a referral business. I connect agents with investors in all over the country. Then next day I tried, okay, I'm an investor and I help agents make more money. So when finally I went to third day and I tested, I help build millionaires through real estate. And everybody had an aha. Oh, wow, what's that? What's that? Because everyone in that room were a millionaire or very close to a multimillionaire. So they resonated the way I presented what I do, right? It's like, oh, I hate that. I hate that. So from that moment, the whole day 3, I was talking about I help build millionaires through real estate. You know, the mission is 100 millionaires this year. Next year is going to be more. And then example on Thursday, when we mentioned what we do, we build millionaires to the room, a lot of people got uncomfortable with that. So, okay, now we're shifting back. I help agents to make money by connecting them with real estate investors, but it's kind of the same thing anyway. Like we help build millionaires through real estate, and then you can do the bullet points later. So I'd say know who your audience is and know who you're talking to, because the way you present what you do, what your product, and even if it's still a baby in infancy, or you already have a well-established business, you can either attract those people or you can kind of like push them away. So choose your words wisely, and then I think once you do that, it will help you to find your ideal client. So then you're just not going to talk to the wrong people, I guess. So that's my biggest takeaway today. Thank you.
Let's give Darina a round of applause. Who learns so much from the coaches in these sessions? I love these sessions. This is one of my favorite parts. I love to teach, and I it's my moral ethical duty to put what I've learned and put it out there in the beginning. But I look forward to what the coaches are going to say, because they come from a different perspective. They have different businesses. They're operating differently. So let's give all the coaches a round of applause. Your shares are hugely tremendous to us. It means a lot. And I want to open it up to questions. This is your opportunity to share some wins or share some questions, something that we can help you out with in your business. And if it's around this principle, even better. Andrew Rogers, you're up, brother. Roger Andrews, you're up.
I do it every time. Every time.
Hey, you know what? Dyslexia is a sign of success. So.
Hey, listen, I'm attending the event next week, so I just wanted to get some more information. Just could you share with the group how it's going to play, what's going on? Let's get some details from the horse's mouth.
Hell yeah, brother. So at 8:00, we are already registered on day 1. So Friday, you want to be there at 7:30, hit registration. From the point you walk in that room, we are go. It is intense. So day 1 is goal setting, and not just flimsy goal setting. This is goal setting with commitment behind it, with non-refundable. Once you pull this out of the universe, this is yours. On day 2, we're going deeper into the commitment level, making sure that even though we committed the night before, we're still committed. Then I will offer an amazing opportunity for accountability throughout the year to ensure this is my, not insurance, my assurance that you will hit your goals. And I will make it a real deal, not something unrealistic. It's a real deal. All things I've charged for, and I still charge for. Only the people who are at the summit will get access to this. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live and you hear about something that somebody got, just know I'm charging your ass full price because you didn't show up. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. I'm not doing it because I'm mean or because I'm greedy. I'm doing it because I like people who show commitment, people who show motivation. You're coming out to hang with me and show your level. I will give back on that level. So the people that show up get an amazing deal, a real deal, like truly, I assure you. And then second part of the day, we're deep diving. That's when Heidi's speaking. She's going to talk about the 6 levels of self-sabotage, how to identify them and how to get around them. Then we're going to talk about DISC. We're going to go into a detailed version of DISC, but not just for clients, although you can use it that way. I'll be going into how to identify the right business partner using opposite skills. Too many people go and attract the wrong business partner because they attract somebody just like them, who they get along with, who have the same skills. But what you require in a business partner is like me and Ron. Me and Ron are polar opposites in the way we think and everything that we do. We have one singular goal: grow this company and get massive passive income. His goal is to do it for his daughters. My goal is to do it for my unborn children and support and motivate this community. So there's one thing that we focus on. It's how do we grow this company, but we do it from totally different directions. So I'll be talking about how that works. Mike Sean will be talking about how to identify wrong partners and right partners, because he's been through many himself, more partnerships than anybody I know. At night, after we've primed you for partnerships, from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we'll be networking. But we'll be networking with a skill set that I'm going to give you. This is how you do the maximum networking, not just get in there and see if you get lucky. It's who's got my money mentality, one of our wealth principles. So you're going into that room. Everybody's going into that room effectively with who is got what I'm looking for. Hence, Cam, if you know that's going to be valuable. This is just day 2. And subliminally, as we're going through this 3-day event, we're building your $1 million business plan. If you're already a millionaire, you're going for the 5. Millionaires, hands to Cam, if you commit, we're going for the $5 million business plan. Excellent. Excellent. If you're not a millionaire yet, you're going for the 1. Please, let's not jump the process. I guarantee you, you stay with me long enough, I'll get you to pentamillionaire. But let's follow the process. What I've seen is people who set the goal too big, too early. Now, some of you can do this. I know you can do this. Some of you could do 5 million in a year. I know it's possible. Here's what I'm saying. If you're the unicorn that can do it, then fucking do it. Does that make sense? I got a process though, and we double every year. And just play with me. Let's just double every year. But if you know I've set up a great plan and you come and ask me, hey, what would the 5 million plan look like? I will put that together for you. Does that make sense? Excellent. So throughout the whole event, we'll be doing that. You will not always notice that you're putting a business plan together. We're going to make it so that it feels like fun the entire time. So we're really getting into who you are. And then on day 3, we're going to go deeper into the business plan. We're going to go deeper into the marketing side of it. So you're going to learn from my coach how to build a story brand, how to go and use stories to sell your business. And we're going to talk about how the business plan gets put into place. The 3rd day is where all the golden stuff that people are looking for, the predictions for crypto. Mitch Jorsky will be talking about his crypto prediction and understanding of the market, how it works, how it operates. I'll be talking about the real estate prediction. And then the last step is the contract. We're going to be signing our $1 million contract, our commitment to ourselves to be at the point that we write on that document in the next 3 to 5 years. And that document is a binding contract. I'm going to have Mike Shine just double check, but it's a binding agreement that you will hit it. And there are things underneath that you don't want to experience, right? Like a lack of confidence if you don't hit your goals, a lower self-esteem for not doing what you said you were going to do. This will affect your sex life. This will affect your posture. You may walk around with a little bit of a hunch if you feel that you haven't accomplished stuff. Hands to the camera if you know you're going to accomplish whatever you put on that contract. Hell yeah. And then we're going to sell some assurance to make sure that you do. Some accountability, some programs, some more events, live events to build out the other pieces of your business. We're going to talk about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, the ways of influence. We're going to talk about business strategies that create leverage. And we're going to talk about your purpose so that you can wake up every single day motivated. Roger Andrews, thank you for the opportunity to talk about an event that I am absolutely obsessed with. Let's give Roger a round of applause. I can't wait to see you at the event, brother. It's been like 2 years since I've seen you at that fateful day, maybe 3 years. And just so blessed to have you in the community. And special thanks to you for all the support you've given Sandra. I know that you've worked with her quite a bit. So thank you. It means a lot to see the community members reaching out to each other and supporting each other. What else? Shares or questions? Go ahead, Sandra.
Walter, I just want to say I'm really proud of you because I remember the days when you were like, this is what I want to do. And like, you actually like to see you build it. I'm sad I won't be there at my own mission right now.
In Barcelona. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm all right. Living the La Vita Dolce, I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But yeah, I can't wait to hear everyone's updates. And yeah, I guess that's all I really wanted to say is I'm really proud of you, and I've seen how you've grown through the years and how you've been, this has not just been like you planned it this year. You've been desiring this for a very long time, and congratulations. So Yeah.
Let's give me a round of applause.
So yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. You know what that tells me about each one of you is if you're hanging out here, the leader is the example of everybody in the community. This is something a coach told me a while back. He said, I know exactly the type of people that are going to be in the room if I know who their leader is. So if the person that they're all following, getting their advice from, hanging out with, aspiring to be like, they're probably very close. And so if you're hearing what Sandra just said, let me tell you, this is true about you as well. Whenever I say I will do something, I do it. Whenever something comes into my head that I desire, I will find a way to accomplish it. And I don't care how long it takes. Time to me is irrelevant. If it's something I want bad enough, I'll put whatever effort in. I'll make whatever contacts. I'll get as uncomfortable as I have to. And I will do it as quickly as I possibly can. I will be okay with if it took me 10 years. Absolutely, that's fine. But I'm doing whatever I can do to put it into 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, whatever I can do to trim that time down. Success is about speed to action. Success is about commitment to a decision. And that's what makes me dangerous. That's what makes each one of you dangerous. Once something comes into your head and you say, I'm going to do this, you do it. Once something comes in there and you commit to something, that's when you've been your most powerful. When you're indecisive, not us, I'm sorry. When other people are indecisive, they're wishy-washy on whether they want to do something or not, when they're letting fear slip into their situation, that's why they don't get the experiences that you're going to get. That's why they don't get to have people like Sandra saying, I knew you 4 years ago. We went to Les Brown together and we went to all these different events together. And, seeing you do the thing that you said you would do is impressive to watch. There are people who are watching you right now, listening to your story, listening to what you're telling them you're going to accomplish in your life. They're listening to you and they're watching. They may not be supporting you, but they are keeping an eye on you. And I know, Sandra, you were supporting me. Absolutely. But they are keeping an eye on you. Even now, after years, I still have people who do not like me, but they still watch me. They're still keeping an eye on what I'm doing. They're looking at the size of this community grow. They're looking at the lives I'm changing. They're looking at when I said I build millionaires, I said, yeah, right. And yet they're looking now at millionaires in the room who are building themselves, who are growing, who are supporting each other. When I said, no, we all share deals, we pass information along, they're like, nobody does that. You're out there for something. Yeah, I'm out there to build 100 millionaires. What I fucking said. I'm going to do it. So thank you, each one of you, for your dedication to yourself. And when you ask me, how can you help? Follow the process. Be successful. Once you're a millionaire, we'll find a way to plug it in. We may partner. Like Jen Sullivan has found a way to serve our community and help me build more millionaires. Julie Bradley has found a way to serve our community to help me build more millionaires. This is making sense. Frank Montero has found a way to serve our community to help me build more millionaires. Imagine walking into a room and being able to connect with people immediately. You're the fastest person in the room because you can just tap your phone and now they got your contact information. It's crazy. It's crazy what this community, this community is getting a mind of its own. This whole concept of 100 millionaires, it's taken off. It's starting to become something bigger that's allowing other people to have room. Remember what I said a few months back when I was talking about build a business and leave room for people, allow others in, leave spaces, leave roles that others could fill and help them get rich. As you build your business, there are opportunities for other people to be getting rich in your business with you. Don't be selfish. Make room for them. Allow them a space. When I'm asked, what is my purpose? I can't find my purpose. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Just grab on a mind for now, right? Get some momentum. Let's go build 100 millionaires. And while you're doing it, I guarantee you're going to find something that you really, really like. You can't be exposed to that many people and that many opportunities without finding something you're in love with. Does that make sense? It's impossible to build 100 millionaires and not find something you love. I guarantee you. So thank you, Sandra. I wanted to talk about that. Clearly it was on my heart. I appreciate you.
Well, I remember, I specifically remember when we were driving to Les Brown, and you specifically, because we both geek out over motivational speeches. And I just remember we both were like, yeah, like one day, like I want to talk about this motivational speech. Like I want to do that. And it's cool to see that you're there. And it's cool to see also what I've done as well. So pat myself on the back. Not many
A high
artists.
eye will always make sure they get their own pat on the back. Let's give Sandra one more round of applause.
But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's been a long time coming. So congrats.
Just a blink of an eye, right? I had fun the entire time. Everything's a beta test. What else? Shares or takeaways from today's lesson? Go ahead, Megan.
So I'm going to be bringing little crystal baggies for everybody. So I'm going to do it based on kind of 3 main ideas. I already know abundance because clearly that's what our group is into. But I'm going to come up with the other 2. However, I'm doing personal baggies for the coaches. And if anyone else wants a personal baggie, just DM me with what it is that you're needing right now. So it's just a concept, emotion, could be anything, what it is, and then I'll figure it out for you. Because I have a near photographic memory and I have 3 like 200-page books memorized in my head as to what works for every zodiac, every whatever sign, right? So just let me know if you want something specific. Otherwise, I'll be bringing like 3 general bags for everybody. So you can start getting to know and understand crystals. And I already have 1 customer out of the coaches who's going to be buying soon. And he also turns out to be featured on this crystal. So he is Raphael, which is on this one right here. So that is the only coach with 2 saint names, Michael Gabriel. But I had to go and find another saint name for him because he's really Raphael. He's going to be my Sherpa. So I'm super excited that I got connected with him. Walter and Terry, you got little angel names as well. I'll be sharing that with you. Christine and Jen and Darina, you also got little things. So like, I'm super excited to share that with you and starting to get out there about like what it is that I love about it. Like you guys are giving me that confidence to start not being like, oh, I sell crystals. Like, I don't know. I just got into it to actually being like, no, there's a reason I do this. And this is what I love about it. And that's why I cannot wait to connect with Jen at some point and start telling me stories. And then Sandra's, I've already got like 6 sculptures I want from her. But first, I'm going to have a little level set moment with Terry, with Mitch, as to like, maybe crawl a little bit. I want to start running a marathon, but not there yet. So I love this group. And anyone who's just joined, I'm in my last week of the mentorship program, but there's always this community here on Saturdays. There's times throughout the week. You can post, people respond. Like it's an amazing community that you don't always find in your friends and family. So just thank you guys. And I cannot wait to celebrate next week.
Let's give Megan a round of applause. She is amazing. This is exactly what we're talking about with build a business that serves others. She's asking for feedback. So if you're in the Alchemist mentorship group, just shoot over a message to Megan. And Megan, if you could drop a post in there asking a very clear question and maybe a little description of what some of the common things that a stone is capable of doing. And here's my holistic opinion on that. Imagine if, and I'm not going to put power on stones, although I do wear some myself. I wear jade, I wear tiger's eye, I wear lava. And I believe that it's not necessarily whether the stone has powers or not. It's your belief on whether it does or not. And so if you're wearing something that reminds you, tiger's eye reminds you to be focused, right? Lava reminds you to be balanced. And so if you're in the jade I wear reminds you to be abundant, to be caring, to be loving, to be more generous, to listen. And so if I identified that I had a weakness, like I was maybe a little too arrogant, I was a little too rough, I was not listening to people. So I remind myself by wearing something heavy enough around my neck to remind myself to be a little more caring, a little more loving, listen a little bit more. The world is abundant. There's an opportunity here. Somebody like I used to be untrusting, and I may still on some level naturally be untrusting, but I created a space to remind myself using, stones. And it's, if that helps build millionaires, then I'm 100% supportive behind that. Does that make sense? Right? If it's a perception that's going to inspire you, you've seen me with the prop money, right? man, I get so much flack on Facebook for walking around with fake cash in my house, but I'll do it because it works, right? Like it freaking works to have this stuff around. I feel great with it. And now they got the new stuff that doesn't say play money anywhere on it. And it really feels real. Like, it's crazy how real this feels. So I strongly suggest whatever it takes to get your mind in the right position. Absolutely. And Megan, I'm looking forward to my bag of rocks. I mean, gems. Let's
So
give.
you can call rocks. Like, honestly, I started out collecting beach rocks, right? Like, that's the whole point of it. And that's what I love about it, is that it's not necessarily the piece. It's not the commercial aspect of it. It really is that reminder. It's that token. It's that mindset. I'm an earthly person. So like, I like rocks, crystals, stones, whatever you want to call them. And I love where they come from. And I love what they mean. And I love tying all that together. But that's the thing, is you can call them whatever you want. I'm not offended by it. And no one should be. That's when you start getting that lack of abundance. And that's what I love when you talk about that, like the competition, the down, and the other thing that I want to start doing, because I realize like a few people have this, crystals for skeptics. Like, what is it that makes you kind of averse to it? And like, let's talk about things like, so anyways, I'm just going to go into my whole,
in this group, you won't have that, but outside of this group, I totally get what you mean. Go ahead, Julie Bradley. And then I want to get Christine. I see Christine on Terry's screen, so I want to make sure I get her opinion as well. Julie, you're up.
It's always a great platform to speak and get over that fear of speaking. And great conversation. Very interested in the crystals. I wanted to share and piggyback off what you said, Walter, because Jen, referred me to a woman that was selling essential oils, and I, bought into essential oils, and I'm like the crazy oil lady now. I'm going around, rubbing it on everybody. And I'm like, what do you feel? Are you getting, the same benefits as me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, I guess you have to really believe that you're connecting with, plant life to get the benefits out of it. So you're absolutely right about the crystals too. It's just that belief that you're getting something out of connecting with plant life. So I'm excited about those crystals too. And I have a story to tell that explains what you said about giving back, because in my business, I needed a professional, and I went about hiring this professional to replace me in one of my clients that I let go a couple of months back. I posted an ad where that client was paying her $25 an hour. And I said, I'm going to need you in my business to help me with my bookkeeping business, and I'll pay you $75 an hour. I gave her that money. I give her that money with glee. She's such an amazing person, and she's adding value. And I don't blink an eye about paying her more for her value. So that's my story.
Let's give Julie Bradley a round of applause. Julie, you remind me of a conversation I had with my VA when I first brought her on to edit my video. And by the way, if you have not had a conversation with Julie Bradley about bookkeeping for your business, you are working too hard on stuff you don't belong working on. It is so affordable. Like, when you hear her price and you hear what she does, you're going to look at it and say, oh my God, I can't believe I still do this. If you can't go make that money in the next 2 days to justify the hours she'll save you over 30 in a month, we don't have a business yet. You need to have a conversation with me or Terry, and we'll get you back on track, right? So if your business is not to that point, get on the bullet train of action. You got bigger problems. But trust me, once you're on the bullet train, you need a bookkeeper. I am telling you, and I'm not saying this as a millionaire. I'm saying I should have done this when I was a real estate agent making that 17,000 in my first year. I might have made 25,000 and it would have justified it. Does that make sense? All right. So I say that because, one, she does do an amazing job for us, and our portfolio is not something easy to manage at this point. And she still goes above and beyond for us because we're part of the community. And she says it in her emails, like she'll let us know, hey, I just love you guys. I want to do the best for you. I want to do the best for anybody in this community. So if you're asking me to do something at that higher level, it's a little more complicated. Cool. I want to learn it so I can offer that service. You see how she is like that? Oh, that's who we want to work with. Awesome. I love it. Christine McGinley, you're up. Yeah, Terry, you're gonna have to unmute her, bro. She's
She knows how to unmute. She's pretty good at this stuff.
With a cat fight starting behind us. It's all good. Here we go. I'll be happy to give you an opinion. What opinion do you want? I'll go with the crystals.
run it.
And I think what you said, and you always say brilliant things. I always hear brilliant things in this community. I love this community. And I think it's about keeping things visible and top of mind, whether it's what you want or the kind of life you're creating for yourself. We'll talk about it at the summit. Goals, keeping them in front of you so you know what you want every day, whether you're a vision board or a word or a reflection in the morning, whatever that is, that you're keeping it top of mind. When you said the weight of the jade, that awareness that whenever you're walking around or sitting at your desk, you might see it in your reflection if you're watching yourself on Zoom. It's where your focus goes is where you go. We hear that all the time. What you focus on grows. And so if it's a crystal that you're wearing, that's in your window, that's on your bracelet, wherever that is, that's present for you, it's going to bring you back to what you're really looking for in life. And that's what's great about every Saturday we show up at this community. We hang out all the time. We get to see each other next week. And it's things like that, a community, a jade, a vision board, a word, a reflection. That's what moves us forward every day. And going back to that is kind of the piece is building millionaires. It's not just about us. It's about creating that for everyone.
Let's give Christine McGinley a round of applause. 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. I'll be going into the actual story of how it really became a part of the mission, how we found it, how we identified it, and how it has changed what we do, how it's made me a happier person, how it's made my relationships better. And it's made a lot more money just being on a mission to serve in a bigger way like this. At first, that seems crazy, but I'm telling you, this mission is so powerful for anybody in any business, any industry. If you can go forth with the thought of advancement and give the thought of advancement to another person, that person will be attracted and will stick to you and be loyal because you're moving them forward. You're giving them the one thing that every human being desires, and that's more. Every single person on this planet is looking for more. They're looking for a little bit more. They're looking to ratchet up on something. And so if you can inspire them that what you're moving them towards, what you're selling is going to ratchet them up. And then if you can prove it and ratchet them further than they expected, you've got loyalty. This is what great brands do. This is what great companies do. And when we all gather together and say we want to build something amazing, that when 100 Millionaires came out, that's when it took off. That's when the community formed. That's when everybody started attaching around us and saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's do it together. Because it wasn't just about us and it wasn't just about them. It was about all of us together doing something as a team. It became something much bigger than ourselves. 100 Millionaires is not something one man can do, right? In your lifetime, you're one bullet. You get one shot. And so in order to do something big, you've really got to start leveraging other people. You got to ricochet. You've got to inspire others. You've got to move people in a direction that's going to change the world. Here's what's going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years. Stuff. No matter what, stuff will happen. But if you want it to be the stuff you believe is the right thing to do in the world, then it's got to be a commitment and it's got to be your stuff. And you've got to bring other people in and share that message with other people. If you don't have a purpose, a passion, a big drive yet, build 100 millionaires. It will come to you. I guarantee it. Does that make sense? There's nothing more fun than aiming and finding and tweaking yourself to be able to tweak other people and the hot tub business plans that come along with it, right? So I got to jump off. I got to call with Terry. And then at 12:30, I got to call my coach. We're going to go over one more time to make sure that I don't say too many words at the summit. I say the right words so that I move people forward the fastest and get the most information. My goal with Summit, is it okay if I share my goal? My one goal? I want afterwards for you to be so lit up, so on fire, so effective this year that when the summit comes next year, each one of you brings 10 people. That's my goal, is to blow your minds and create so much value that when next year comes around, you go out of your way to say, no, don't be an idiot. You're coming this year with me. Like, no, this is the year you come with me. Just like I was with 10X and Grant Cardone. I paid for my entire team to go with me. Not my whole team, just my favorite people, the people who closed and made me money. I paid for 10 people to come with me to 10X because I saw so much value in that event. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying pay their tickets. I want them to pay, because if they pay, they show up. If they pay, they stay. If they pay attention. But the point is that it's going to be so badass. And then my marketing all year long is FOMO marketing. I want everybody who was not there at the event to feel it in their bones. I want them to feel it in their core that they missed out on an opportunity in life. Hands to the camera if you know that's what you want to create in your business. Yes. So then, ladies and gentlemen, go forth, sell something that you have not created. Sell what you're already selling, but make it a little bigger, charge a little more, find a way to add a little more value. If you're a real estate agent, I want buyer's contracts signed. Yes, you'll make your money from the seller no matter what. You'll get your 5 or 6%, but why not get an extra 1 or 2% signed up front? This making sense? You could do this in any business. Any business this works. Go sell something before you build or create it. Enjoy the rest of your days. Dr. Terry Wager, I'll see you on the next call. Cheers. When you have a choice, always work with the best.
Always work with the best, the best, the best. Send me a link.
I will.